Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another great, super cool radio interview. I'm your host, as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got a great guest joining me at this time. Coming up on March 15th, Lutharo will release a new album entitled Chasing Euphoria. Please welcome Krista, the lead vocalist of Lutharo.
Hello.
It's awesome to have you on the podcast. I know we got so much to discuss, obviously, with the new album coming out, and you have an upcoming tour starting in March as well. I know we got quite a bit to discuss.
Yes, we do.
So before we jump into that, I have a fun yet challenging question to kick off this interview. So I'm curious for you. I will say the questions do get easier as the interview progresses, but I'm curious for you. What has been your favorite concert you've attended and the favorite concert you have performed at?
Ooh, favorite concert that I've attended. That's really tricky.
I did say it was going to be challenging to start.
I would have to say Iron Maiden has been up there. Metallica was up there. Basically any Arch Enemy show. Whitesnake was really great too. That was one of my favorite concerts that I went to a couple of years ago. That like really wowed me. So yeah, those would be my tops. And that I performed at probably any date on the Elstorm tour because every night was amazing. So yeah, the whole tour.
All right, on definitely listed a lot of great bands, and obviously touring with Hailstorm, obviously amazing, just a huge, awesome experience. I'm glad you guys had that opportunity, and I was surprised by Whitesnake. First time someone's mentioned that on this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of like an underrated band. People don't talk about them much, but they're so good, and we take a lot of influence from them. And yeah, I don't know. People just don't talk about them much. It's very surprising to me.
It is, especially for a legendary band, and still like, and you can see like some bands, from that era, like some have unfortunately kind of lost their step. Whitesnake still kicks it. They can still rock.
For sure. Note for note. They were awesome.
Definitely, for sure. So I know I've not seen them live, but I've definitely, hopefully at some point I would like to, because a lot of people I've talked to always have like great things to say about them and their performance.
For sure.
So no, I do want to now jump into, so you guys have a new album coming out, as I said, on March 15th. It is Chasing Euphoria. So before we start talking about like, how that album came together, I'm curious about the song title, because I don't know, it's the album title, my bad. So how did the album title come about?
So I came up with it based upon one of our singles. We had a couple different names in the running for the album, but that one kind of really stuck with like the theme of everything. So that song alone is just about like capturing a moment where everything feels amazing and great and euphoric in a sense. Like imagine like you're at a concert and you stop for a second and you're like, oh my God, this is like pure bliss. This is the best moment ever. If time could stop right now and I could be in this moment forever, I wish I could, or I could bottle this feeling. That's what that song's about. And so the entire album is basically based upon chasing that feeling through life and like kind of getting disappointed by it or choosing to accept it because that makes those moments more special when they're I don't know, not happening constantly, I guess. But yeah.
No, I really like the meaning behind it, because they're, especially for concert goers, especially frequent concert goers. I know there's definitely some very vivid moments when I go to concerts. There's one back, this was pre-pandemic, when I saw Alice Cooper. When Nita Strauss was doing a solo during Feed My Frankenstein, he was in the contraption that turns him into a Frankenstein.
Yes.
I just thought, like, man, this is one of the coolest experiences that I'm seeing. And as you said, you just take those few seconds to realize just how awesome and just how unique this experience is.
Yeah, it's like time stops for a second. Yeah, Alice Cooper was awesome live too. I've seen him a few times now, and he's probably up there in one of my favorite shows.
He's definitely my favorite. It was the first concert I ever went to was Alice Cooper.
Really?
Yeah. So that was he's my favorite. Like ever since that moment, which is like 10 years now is what 20 almost 10 years now. So been my favorite since, and I always love like seeing him live. I saw him with a Hailstorm, which is, by the way, awesome combination. I hope they tour again.
That would be awesome. Yeah, they're really good. Lizzie Hale, she is insane. Like, she's an insane vocalist. So yeah, that would be a crazy show to see.
It definitely was. It was amazing. But obviously, and you got obviously perform open for them, which is awesome experience. But yeah, she's just and the whole band. Honestly, like the whole band and her, they're amazing. Like every time I've seen them, it's always been a good show.
For sure, yeah, a lot of energy.
Oh, definitely. But I did want to. So one more thing I did want to ask. So you said there's a few other titles for the album. Were there any like that were close to being like chosen, or was it like always like Chasing Euphoria was always kind of the front runner?
Yes, there was one that we were almost going to go with, which is Black to Blue. And that was a lyric in one of the songs that hasn't, I guess like the song hasn't been announced yet, but the tracks have been announced. So, yeah. So I guess I can say what it's called. It's From Strong Enough to Fall. So, yeah.
No, I got you. What kind of gave you kind of said the meaning behind Chasing Euphoria. Is it just like the meaning behind that kind of gave it the extra edge to go with that album title?
Well, what happened was I originally really wanted Chasing Euphoria, but we didn't think that the song was like this big boom of a single worthy. It's still a great song, but we were just like, oh, should that be the title track? Because this song isn't like this crazy over the top song. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll put that on the back burner and like go with something else. And then, yeah, Black to Blue came up, and we got in touch with the artist who did our artwork, Nicholas Sundin, who also does Dark Tranquillities. He's done a bunch of stuff for Arch Enemy as well. He sent us a photo of the artwork that he made like a while ago and was going to give it to us for like a good price, which is nice because we don't have money. So he sent us this artwork, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, that is Chasing Euphoria. I was just like, this is perfect. Like, signed, sealed, delivered. I don't care how much this costs at this point. I want this artwork, and it's going to be Chasing Euphoria. It was just too perfect.
Oh, it is really cool how like just things like that just like line up where it just like perfectly works out like how it did as you described. I do like that you said that because we don't have money. So true. Like, I feel that. I feel that. Like any kind of like musician or content creator, like I feel that
for sure.
But now I do want to dive into the album. I've had the opportunity to listen to the complete album. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Like just listening to it, it felt just the flow of just the songs, like one after the other, just felt really just right, and it just like they flowed into each other. I really like the themes and topics you guys discussed in this album. Overall, it's amazing, and I highly encourage everyone. I believe it's available for pre-order. Make sure to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, it is, and yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
But I do want to talk about, so obviously you have 3 singles out so far, which the latest is Reaper's Call. So like out of those 3 singles, like is that a good representation of what people can expect from this album?
I think so. I mean, like, I feel like this album is a really mixed bag of things. Like, we really experimented with a lot of stuff. So it's kind of hard to say, especially because every single that's come out has been so different. So like completely different sounds. So I think like it's a representation of who we are as a band, but I wouldn't say it's a representation of the entire album. I think every song on that album has a piece to it. Like it's like a piece to the puzzle that belongs and makes it this great entity, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it would be missing something without it for sure.
Oh no, definitely. No, like sometimes like I break up listening to albums. Like, sometimes I just listen to half of it, then like I go like do other work that I have, and then I come back. But with this one, Chasing Euphoria, like I just listened to it, first song to last, just one sitting. And it's really cool when that happens, 'cause especially I get a lot of music. I get a lot of music my way because of the podcast. But like this one's like, this sounds awesome, and I have to finish listening to this album.
Thank you. I'm glad. That's very flattering.
So I'm curious for you guys. So how was it writing and recording this album? Was it a different experience compared to previous music?
I mean, with High Rise, we had a lot of time to record because it was during the pandemic. So we had a crazy amount of time to work on that one. With this one, we did it within a couple of months. I mean, we had songs pre-written and a lot of ideas down, but we kind of like trapped ourselves in the jam space for a few months and wrote the entire album in that span of time. So I would say that it was easy in some ways, but very difficult because of the time constraints, but also we did that to ourselves. So yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you self-impose some of that stuff, it's like, well, we did this to ourselves, but you guys still knocked it out of the park with everything.
Thank you.
So I'm curious for you, do you have a favorite song off the new album?
I do. My favorite song by far is Time to Rise. I love that one. That one was a huge moment for me to come out of my shell because I've never sang with like a soft tone of voice before. Not since I was like young, at least. So hearing my voice like that and like it was like I got to express every different texture of my voice in that song. So yeah, and a lot of emotion went into it as well. It has a really deep meaning for me. So that one by far.
Oh no, I really enjoyed that one as well. Again, what I really liked what you said, it really highlights your voice and different as you said, textures of your voice with it, and I thought it was really well done and definitely one of my favorites off the album as well.
Thank you.
I will say my favorite is Reaper's Call off the album.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of love on that song. Oh my goodness. Yes, go on. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
It's your interview. Feel free to cut me off. But no, I just really like because it feels it has like a little bit more of aggressive nature to it. I really like you got some screaming in there, which I really enjoyed. It is just all around. It's a really badass song. I know, and I really like that it follows like the instrumental of the first song into Reaper's Call.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Elliot did a good job on that.
So I'm curious. So you just released, I believe at the time of this recording, it was I think earlier, about a week or so ago, a music video for Reaper's Call. How was it filming that, and which you had a few different locations for the music video? So how did all that come together?
Okay, so it's actually all one location.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's this place in Hamilton, and it's a big like warehouse-looking building, and so the whole top floor is like an open, I don't know, like cement building basically, and then the whole basement looks all creepy. Like the main part of the video where we're all playing, that's what the whole like the basement looks like, and the tunnels are actually part of the basement there as well. So the tunnel I'm walking up and down later on, and then the parts of like my head and my friend's hands doing the thing, that's also filmed there. We just had different lighting for everything, so we made the most of the space. But yeah, that one was really good to film. It was really cold because I had wet hair like basically the entire time. But other than that, it was really good.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, I was watching. I was like, it looked like just different locations, but I'm surprised. I see. Shouldn't assume things when I do research for this, but it turned out awesome. Music video turned out really cool, and I like just the different shots you guys got of you or the band as well.
Yeah, and I think a funny thing about that music video is, I mean, back in the day during Prohibition, they used that, like the tunnels down there to smuggle alcohol, which is pretty crazy considering the subject matter of the song, I guess, and me running down the tunnels with a wine bottle. And I had no idea about this until I got there, basically. And I was like, oh, well, that's very fitting.
See what we were talking about earlier about like things lining up, like just like perfectly, like how life lines up with stuff like that.
Yeah,
Another example of that.
it's been happening a lot lately. I find for us, like there's always things that happen or don't happen for a reason. It's really obvious when it does happen.
Oh no, for sure. Especially like in life, it seems like if stuff like as you said does or doesn't happen, there's always some type of reason behind it, and it usually in the long run it's the best that either something did or didn't happen. But it's always cool when you get like a little nod from what the space was used for and the music video, like you have a similar kind of what happened in the past happens in the present as well. So
For
always cool when
sure.
that happens.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
But I do I got one more thing to talk about for the album, and then we're going to talk about the live show, but it kind of leads into the live show. Sorry, this is a very long segue I'm using right now.
It's all good.
But have you played any of the any of the songs off the new album, Chasing Euphoria, live yet?
We have we played Ruthless Bloodline and Born to Ride. So during the entire Ailstorm tour, we played Ruthless Bloodline, and then during our tour with Paladin and Unleash the Archers, we ended up playing Ruthless Bloodline and Born to Ride. So yeah.
And was that before they were recorded, or that the songs were already recorded?
The songs were already recorded, but hadn't been released yet. Ruthless Bloodline we actually played before we even released the song out into the world. So everyone on that tour kind of got like a sneak preview.
Very nice, very nice. And that does lead into, so you guys be part of, I want to make sure I got the title right. I think it's All Hell's Breaking Loose Across America.
Yes.
Very good. I'm glad I got that right. With let's see, it's got Raven, Vicious Rumors, and Wicked on select dates.
Yes.
How does it feel to be part of this awesome tour?
I'm really excited. All of us are. We're like itching to get back on the road. So we're really excited. And we're playing some pretty legendary venues as well. Whiskey A Go Go, which we're like, yes, that's so exciting for us. I can't wait to go there and then probably visit the Rainbow too when we're there, So yeah, a lot of really cool venues, and I can't wait to like get to know everybody on the tour too and see how everyone meshes, and like the first couple of days will be interesting probably until everyone gets their bearings, but then yeah, I'm sure it'll be really fun.
Oh no, definitely. It's a killer lineup, and obviously it comes right after the release. I think it's like 4 or 5 days after release of the new album.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you guys actually have an album release show on, is it on the actual album drop day?
We do. Here in Hamilton, we're doing that, so that's really exciting.
They'll get you prepared and warmed up for obviously the upcoming tour the following week.
Yeah.
But have you performed with any of these bands on the tour before?
On the Raven tour?
Yeah.
Nope, none of them so far. Heard of them and know of them, but never played with them. Nope.
All right. I wish you guys the best. As I said, it's gonna be an awesome lineup, and I know it's gonna be awesome to tour. As you said, Whiskey A Go. Have you played the Whiskey before?
No, never. So I'm like super excited. I feel like I'm probably gonna have major chills when I'm there.
Well, I've never been there, but I've interviewed quite a few people who have, and yeah, they said the first time, like just walking in, you're gonna get like those chills or just that all moment of just you're here. So
Sure.
I hope you guys have a great show, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I got just a few more things before we start closing out this interview. So like, what can like people expect from Lutharo's set list for this upcoming tour?
I think we're going to try and pack as much new stuff as we can in, but definitely keep the favorites in. Like Wings of Agony is probably going to be in the set list for a long time. People really like that one. It has our highest views, so I don't think that will be leaving the set anytime soon. But other than that, I'm not sure. We haven't decided on a set list yet, but most likely going to try and pack most of the new stuff, or as much new stuff as we can in there.
Oh, no, right on. I know you guys have a nice mix of like obviously the new album, plus as you said, some of the the other songs in your discography as well. Now, I'm curious for you. Do you have a favorite song to perform live?
Ooh, I really like Ruthless Bloodline. I love singing that one. That one and Phantom. Those ones just flow really nicely for me. I get into them a lot. And it just has like a good mixture of clean and screaming too. So it really like warms me up and gets me going.
Oh no, right on for sure. Do you know like where is that usually in the set list? Towards the beginning?
Yeah, so Phantom we opened with for like forever. And Ruthless Bloodline is usually second or third. We might have moved it later on for some sets, but mostly it's pretty early on in the set. So yeah.
Oh no, right on for sure. Now, as I said, I just got a couple more things to discuss, and we're closing out this interview soon. But I'm curious for you. Last kind of more challenging question before we close out the interview. So I'm curious for you. What has been like some of your favorite moments from your music career so far?
Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question. I think just having people come up to me at shows or message me about how much they love the music or how much the music has helped them, or just like those kind of interactions are the most fulfilling thing. There was a girl in Atlanta who came up to me and she's like, can I have your signature, your autograph, and can you write Lutharo on a piece of paper for me? And I was just like, okay. And she's like, I'm going to go get it tattooed. And I was like, yeah, right. Okay. And then she ended up getting it tattooed. She posted a whole video on TikTok and it looks amazing. And yeah, that was a really fulfilling moment because I was like, damn, that's on someone's body forever. And we've had a few of those. We've actually had 2 more people with the logo tattoo. And yeah, I think playing those huge venues with Ailstorm as well. And especially because we don't really fit the bill, I think seeing people go from like interested in the beginning and like intrigued to like really loving it, like watching us win over the crowd and feeling that energy every single night was really great. And probably just finishing every single album and just looking back on it and be like, holy crap, I wrote that. Yeah.
It was definitely awesome, memories and moments, especially having someone, tattoo your signature or the band logo on them. As you said, it's there forever, and it just shows just how much of a connection they have to you and the music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh no, for sure. Especially as we were talking about, opening for a Hailstorm and just winning. Again, it is a little bit different, style from that band, but as you said, like having them win over the crowd, definitely it's just awesome to have it just do it every night, and also be successful with it every night. I think it's awesome.
For sure.
All right, so now last couple of things. So what is like, obviously you have the album release coming up on March 15th. You got the upcoming tour. So like, what is like the rest of 2024 looking like for Lutharo?
Hopefully more touring. That's what we're hoping for. And we're going to start writing a new album. Again, we got to get on it. But yeah, hopefully more touring. We're waiting to hear back from a lot of people and see how things go and how things line up. So yeah, we'd love to go back to Europe to tour. So we're hoping for that.
Well, right on. I wish you guys the best. Hopefully you guys get that opportunity. Hopefully this year or early next year, depending on touring. But I do hope that all works out for you guys.
Thank you.
And before we close it out, for everyone watching and listening, where are the best places to find Lutharo online?
Basically, any social media platform. We've got videos on YouTube, which they're our newest ones are actually on Atomic Fire's page. So if you want to check them out, you got to go through their page, because I feel like a lot of people get confused with that. They go to our YouTube, which is where we used to post, and now they're like, where's the videos? So yes, Atomic Fire's YouTube. We got Spotify, Apple Music. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
Right on. I'll make it a little bit easier. I'll drop some links for Lutharo in the description of this podcast, including Reaper's Call, the new music video for that, and pre-order the new album as well. All the links will be in the description. Krista, I had an awesome time chatting with you. Thank you so much for stopping by Super Cool Radio. It was awesome to meet and chat with you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Of course. As I said, please check out and support Lutharo. Make sure to see them live on the upcoming tour anytime you can. And make sure to pre-order the new album. For Krista of Lutharo, I'm your host, as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.
Woo.